I'm Austin. This is my audience. There's a whole bunch of jocks. My name's Austin, and today my speech is on potholes. When you hear someone talk about potholes, you think those rough bumps on the road you drive every day. Potholes in the roads have never been a bigger problem. Now, I'm not just talking about paved roads, but gravel roads too. Weathering and the use of the road causes them to deteriorate over time. With all the potholes popping up, it not only poses a threat to the vehicle, but the driver as well. Before we get too far, let's discuss what a pothole is. A pothole, by definition, is a depression or hollow on the road surface caused by wear or subsidence. But we know them as those annoying bumps in the road we hit with our vehicles when we're driving. According to Clady Plukel, in the Whether or Not How the Weather Causes Potholes, the asphalt on the road is just a small layer at the top. Underneath, you have a thicker layer of rocks and soil. When you have rain and thunderstorms, it allows rain to sit on the roadways. Potholes start to form when that moisture starts to get into the foundation below the asphalt. This will allow that layer to soften and eventually break down. When temperatures drop below the freezing point, the water underneath the roads freeze. This allows the water to expand and become a larger mass under the road. This process can continue as more rain finds its way in. More and more water will turn into more ice and expand even larger. When this ice expands, it can start to push the asphalt upwards. This allows the road to break down, and you will start to see some cracks in the asphalt. Eventually, temperatures will rise above the freezing point, allowing the ice to melt. Water will then be absorbed by the soil beneath, or the sun will dry up the water. This will leave a large hole in the foundation under the road. As more and more cars run over the area of the road without foundation, the asphalt starts to crumble and eventually cannot hold the weight anymore. The road then collapses in that area, and if cars continue to drive in the area, the hole becomes larger. The cold weather can also cause problems for asphalt roads. When the cold weather comes, the temperatures often drop to a point where freezing occurs both below and above the asphalt, which can result in cracks. When the cracks occur, water can seep its way into the asphalt. This is a serious issue during the winter months, since the water that has penetrated the asphalt can then freeze if it gets cold enough. You can imagine what happens next. Since water expands when it freezes, the asphalt will split even further, which can result in the beginning of a pothole. Running over potholes can cause damage to your vehicle. Whether that means a flat tire or throwing off the alignment in your car, it's always good to stay safe when you see a pothole, and if you can slow down before driving over one. Continuously hitting a pothole, hitting a large one, going too fast over one, these are all ways a pothole can damage your vehicle. According to Potholes, the City of Lincoln hasn't paid a claim in nearly 6 years. A pop tire or damaged rim can quickly add up to $1,000. Provided to us by research, the City of Lincoln had 58 claims against them with a specific dollar amount. All claims totaled $28,623.90. The highest claim requested was $1,577.90, while the average claim was $493.51. Of these 58 claims, 35 were declined, and with the other 23 being recommended for denial. Omaha agreed to pay all claims from the start of 2019 to March 2019, which totaled more than $28,000. Lincoln came up with an app.
If Ryan Sullivan and Trenton Van Veldenhuizen is in the building, please come to the office. Trenton and Ryan, please come to the office.
Thank you, Kim. Lincoln came up with an app, UPLNK, and it includes pothole reporting. This allows the city to see where the most problems are being reported, and by giving them a reasonable amount of time, they are able to fix the worst potholes quicker and more efficiently. While most people drive paved roads and complain about them, people usually forget about gravel roads. Especially with the recent flooding in Nebraska, our gravel roads are slowly falling apart. After the flooding was at the worst, most of the state sat in disrepair. 81 of our 93 counties had disaster declarations. In Holt County, the majority of the roads in the area were shut down due to unsafe travel conditions. This led all traffic to use one county road. On average before, the road saw maybe 70 people on it. After the flooding, 700. In the article, Nebraska County Roads Still Struggling Months After Floods, Gary Knott, a county highway superintendent, said, "The rain isn't giving us a chance to get one completely repaired before it washes them out again." In Buffalo County, there's 1,500 miles of road, 1,300 of those being gravel roads. After the flooding, the county had to spend nearly $1 million on fixing gravel roads alone, which was twice its budget. One of the other problems they faced was the availability of gravel. According to 2019, floods leave Buffalo County roads with almost $1 million in damage. Gravel shortage adds to woes. According Buffalo County works through 4 contractors who supply gravel. However, when they needed gravel, so did many other counties in the area. This continues to delay the time it takes to fix the roads. Heck, even here in Butler County, some roads still have road clotheslines on them due to not being fixed yet. One of the worst things about the worsening road conditions are the kids who drive these roads every day. Having kids as young as 13 or 14 drive to school every day on the road imposes a huge danger. When these roads are wet or full of holes from use, a lot of pressure is put on the young driver. If the roads aren't kept up to a safe traveling standard, whose fault is it if something happens? What if the kid's doing everything right, but finds a patch of road where it's not safe to drive? The flooding has brought us many problems, and with it comes consequences. However, I think most counties did a great job in working these roads and getting the majority of them close to where they need to be, but there's still work to be done. Another problem that faced fixing these roads was the cost. Federal aid covers 75% of the cost, the state is responsible for 12.5%, but then the counties are left with the rest. Most counties do not have this money just to hand out, and contractors want paid right away. John Mole said his county, Buffalo County, was faced with $800,000 in damages from the March flooding, with another $150,000 tacked on in July. Elsewhere in Dodge County, Scott Huppert said the county had to take out a $5 million loan just to pay contractors. This loan was taken out after spending the full $4 million of the emergency fund. He estimates it will cost between $17 and $18 million to repair all roads and bridges, which may be another year or two down the road. Quick funny story to end this off. One Omaha man was being taken to the hospital because he was having a heart problem. As the ambulance sped down the road, they hit a pothole. This bump caused the man's heart to return back to its normal pace, perhaps saving the man. So maybe potholes aren't the absolute worst thing to happen to mankind. However, potholes in the roads have never been a bigger problem. And I'm not just talking about paved roads, but gravel roads too. Today we discussed the problems of these roads, as well as how they form and how we could fix them. Never will there be a day where there's no potholes, but there's no doubt it could be better than what it is now. This is my crowd.